All right, let's give you some sports action now. 2025 is a big year for Banyana Banyana, with the Women's African Cup of Nations tournament coming up mid-year in Morocco. Now, part of the early preparation phase, Banyana are playing Lesotho in 2 friendly matches. The 2 Southern African nations meet in the first clash today in Soweto. Sports reporter Vuyo Macoba joins us from the match venue ahead of that 1 p.m. kickoff. Now, it's a big year for Banyana Banyana with the AFCON coming up. Vuyo, preps are officially underway for coach Desiree Ellison in charges. How's the team looking?
Good afternoon to you, Hugo, and to the Newzroom Africa viewers. Certainly, the preparations are underway for Banyana Banyana ahead of what is going to be a big year. It is the Women's Africa Cup of Nations, and if you remember correctly, South Africa are the reigning champions of that competition, having won it back in Morocco back in 2022. So they'll be going back there, and the mission is clear as daylight. Go back and, of course, secure the throne or stay on the throne. So preparations started this week, and they start with 2 friendly matches against Lesotho, which one of them is going to take place today, with the second one taking place on Tuesday. We're here at the UJ Soweto campus, and of course, we've just seen the team preparing both Banyana Banyana and Lesotho side, and the youngins are looking sharp. And I'm going to describe this in terms of the youngins is because Coach Desiree Ellison has brought in the younger players as part of an integration process and bringing in new players into the setup. Of course, now the match kicking off at 1 o'clock today is certainly a build-up for her in sort of seeing these younger players and, of course, finding the best way to integrate them, as, of course, with the senior players that have been playing over the years are sort of shifting out of the national team setup. So she's using these young ones to see how they're going to be integrated into the setup, and she's using these 2 matches against Lesotho as part of the early preparations going into the tournament, which is going to take place in July in Morocco. Hugo?
Now, only locally based players are part of these preps. What is Coach Desiree Ellis' plan for the year and the build-up to the tournament?
So in regards to this one, what she has done is brought in just locally based players. And it's the younger players, of course, that are part of the streams, either in the local clubs and, of course, in the younger setups of the national sides, in the under-17s as well. I mean, some of the players come from the under-17 national side that, of course, played in the COSAFA Championship last December. And the others were slowly being brought into the senior setup just to play alongside the senior players. Now, what she's trying to do with this part of the group is sort of build up some sort of what we call an alignment camp. Now, when I bring up the word alignment camp, we've seen it in the likes of the Springbok side. Recently, Coach Rassie Erasmus has brought in locally based players, about 56 of them, into a camp. Those is using the opportunity to sort of teach them about the culture of the Springboks, so that when the older players or the senior players now who played in the 2 recent World Cups are shifting out, these ones already understand what is required of being in the national team setup. That is the case with this one as well. The likes of Katlego Malebane, a young and a special player from the Mamelodi Sundowns development side of team, is part of this side. And as I mentioned earlier on, they are sort of players that have been playing in the Hollywood Bets League and some of those that have been playing in the younger divisions of the national side. I think the interesting part about it, side by side in Coach Desiree Ellis, is a coach in Tina Sonkembuli who's been taking the players through their charges this week. Tina Sonkembuli is one of the coaches that led the University of Western Cape in the CAF Women's Champions League recently. So she understands what it means to play with university players or train locally young players, and also what it takes to play at a continental level. So she's being the one that has been side by side with Coach Desiree Ellis instead of bringing this alignment situation for these younger players here. And I can tell you, Hugo, these young players have certainly put up their hand, and in terms of their response, it's been a good one in terms of how they've been showing Desiree Ellis that they want to be in the future part of the senior national team, and if possible, be part of the WAFCON team in Morocco later on this year. Hugo?
Finally, before we let you go, let's talk about the mood in the camp. Obviously, a lot of these young uns, as you've described them, I can only imagine that they must be delighted to be a part of this training camp.
The big idea, of course, I mean, you getting the mentorship from one of the best coaches in the continent. I mean, many times that she's gone on and received that continental crown as one of the best coaches. We're speaking to some of the players this week. Some of them were scared in the first days of the preparation camp, which was held at the UJ Auckland Park campus. And that's because of the stature of the mentorship that they see that they are receiving from this coach, who is a respected coach on the continental side. It can only be a huge mentorship or a huge opportunity for these youngins who have dreamt all over these years, for many of the years, to be part of the seniors national side. Now this is their opportunity to showcase their skills and all these dreams that they had in these two games especially. This is their opportunity to show Coach Desiree Ellis that they mean business, and one, they want to be part of that WAFCON team that goes back to Morocco, and bigger than anything else, be part of this national team setup in the future. Now the beautiful thing about one of the players that I mentioned in Katlego Malebane, who's a part of Mamelodi Sundowns development side, is in 2022 in Morocco, she was a ball girl. Now, she could possibly get the opportunity now to go back to Morocco, who are the hosts again of the WAFCON, now as a national team player. Now, that's a dream fulfilled, and we had the opportunity, of course, to speak to her this week to sort of understand the magnitude of what she's gotten herself into now in this space, or the magnitude of the call-up for her specifically. Now, the possibility of her going back as a national team player, having gone there and seen the likes of Refilo Chane, seen the likes of Linda Motlalo and the rest, lifting that trophy back in Morocco in 2022. She has the possibility this year to go back in that setup and help Banyana Banyana to defend that title. And it starts here, Hugo. So you must showcase your skills to Coach Desiree Ellis and the rest of the coaches in these two friendly matches. And the special part about this is that she's part of the national side as well in the under-17 that is building up to the World Cup qualifiers that are going to be in October and November later on this year. So she's got these two streams of big tournaments that she's going to be part of this year. And it couldn't have come at a better time for her to get this type of mentorship. So it's a huge thing, Hugo.
Vuyo Macoba, as you said, great work that's being carried out, and that pathway clear as day. Now, just give us a reminder, we've got a 1 p.m. kickoff today. There are 2 matches. When is the second one?
The second one is on Tuesday. It's, of course, also going to take place here at the UJ Soweto campus. So urging fans to come out and support these youngins, Hugo, or support this process, because we can continue speaking about the developments in our football setup in the country. Now, if you're seeing teams doing such a thing, you need to come back and back them up. If you're seeing coaches giving or trusting young players in their national team setups, we need to come and back them. I've already seen former captain of Banyana Banyana, Refilo Chane. She's already here in the stands. Of course, she's a Soweto girl as well. She's giving that support to these younger players. And I think the bigger crowd, if they are missing out of today, they can come on Tuesday as well and see this younger side and see the future of Banyana Banyana.
Well, you've mentioned Mamelodi Sundowns as one of the teams that's contributing to this Banyana Banyana outfit, including some of the young ones. Which other teams, notably, are making major contributions to some of the players that have been shortlisted?
I can mention JVW, which is a Janine van Wyk football side that played in the Hollywood Bets League. Janine van Wyk, of course, a former captain of Banyana Banyana. She's contributing back to the stream of local football in the country, producing those players in her team that is playing in the Hollywood Bets Super League. So JWV being also one of the teams that have got some of their players and the goalkeepers here that were part of the goalkeeper camp earlier on and last weekend. So she's part of the teams in the local football streams that are also feeding into Coach Desiree Ellis. UWC being another setup of the sides. And as I mentioned earlier, you've got a coach in Tina Sonkembuli who's leading a UWC and has led UWC in the CAF Women's Champions League as well, being part of the stream. So she's got some of the players who already understands, what it takes to play at continental level, now being part of the setup at this point. So you've got major as part of those two teams like UWC, Mamelodi Sundowns, JVW and Janine van Wyk being the ones that are streaming and helping Coach Desiree Ellis and the other teams to be able to put together alignment camps like this that are able to teach a culture of a Banyana Banyana setup for these players who are dreaming to be future players of the senior setup. Hugo?
Vuyo Macoba, and he was giving us the rundown ahead of that all-important encounter between Banyana Banyana and Lesotho being played in Soweto. 1 or 2 matches that Banyana will play against Soweto 1 p.m. kickoff, and the next one will be on Tuesday.